All right, all right. What time it is? It is welcome to my channel. It is another reaction video. This time we are going to step out again of what we usually do and do the complete opposite. We like making messes. Now, um, I love expensive houses. I really do. Now, do I wish I had the money for them? Yes. Of course, I would invite my family, my friends, just to live with me. Now, to that certain point, would we all get along with each other? Probably not. And where sickness would be, it would be floating around all the time until you got it controlled. Well, so in the thing of COVID, sorry, you're just out of luck. But now, we have a video today. We're going to be looking at houses. We're going to be looking at mansions that nobody wants to buy. This is a long video. Prepare yourself. Go get you some coffee. Go get you, well, go get you some Dr. Pepper. Go get you some coffee, tea, whatever you want to do. Get you a bag of popcorn. Go grab some cookies. I got cookies over here, but I mean, it's up to you whether you want cookies there or not. I mean, but this is going to be a long video. Um, these last two have been uh, terribly long. Because I love to talk. I really do. Now we will have commercials in this one, just like we did with the last one. This video that we're going to be watching is by Be Amazed. Um, and it is 24 minutes long. It's not a short video. It's not our wheelhouse of trailers, music videos, compilation videos, and stuff like that. It's not like that. But what it is, it's houses, very expensive houses. And if y'all want to support the channel, please support it by going to pillar.io/transgamerlive. Pillar.io/transgamerlive. Support us. I mean, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share. Ring the bell on YouTube. Exclamation point notify on Facebook. I mean, there's a lot of different things that I can do and say and stuff like that. I just want y'all to follow. I want you to follow. If you do, I may do some ASMR. Now, I know the people that was in the headphones finally they quit talking that loud, but then yeah, I'm here. I just busted your eardrums, and for that I am sorry. But okay, enough wasting time. This is mansions nobody wants to buy. Are they haunted? I don't know. Usually I do research and actually look them up. I think I've watched this video maybe once in the I don't even know whenever it came out, but I want to say that I want to say it came out a long time ago. Because I love watching how stuff like this. Okay, let's get right back in. Let's get into the video now. This is going to have some commercials in it. We're going to get through them. All right, here we go.
Everyone dreams of owning a mansion, but in reality, it's a dream most of us will never be able to afford. Or is it? If you know where to look, you'd be surprised with the incredible mansions you could get on the cheap, and even more surprised by why not even millionaires want to buy them. From domineering castles with creepy past to haunting homes suspiciously available for free, let's take a tour of some incredible mansions no one wants to buy for any price.
Can I have a free house? I want a free house. I'll take a free house. I don't have land, but I'll take a free house.
$0 with a catch. They say that nothing in this world comes free, and when something seems just too good to be true, it usually is. In May 2019, bargain hunters were
I want to say that was a Lamborghini Advantage. Saying it right?
astounded when a listing for an impressive seeming 4 bedroom.
Yeah, you had to move this house. I've seen this on a different show. You had to move this away because the owner wanted to keep the land but get rid of the house.
Bedroom home on Craigslist went viral for touting a $0 price tag. But there was a catch. The seemingly good
How come you gotta get iced tea with the squinting eye effect and stuff like that? I mean, it
willed
just
seller
makes
behind
no
this insane offering was
sense.
Barb Conklin, the owner of the property in Jordan, Minnesota, who inherited it from her grandmother, Gail. No one lived in the house even when it was owned by Gail, and in 2002 the elderly woman made the bizarre decision to relocate the property from the middle of town to the side of the highway. Moving a house is a Herculean task and requires a lot of resources. Relocated properties are usually lifted from under the sills with a jacking system and a network of beams to keep the structure in one piece. Gail's reasons for moving the house were never revealed, but it remained abandoned on the side of the highway for 15 years, until the property fell into Barb's hands in 2017 following Gail's passing. The mini mansion's interior is completely empty, except for the remnants of decor from days gone by. Just one glance at those bright orange countertops and cork backsplash is enough to tell you that this place needs a significant overhaul when it comes to decoration.
If that is the inside of that house, it's not gonna take much. I mean, well, for me, I mean, I would couple of drops of paint.
Having originally planned
I'm easy to please.
to renovate the mansion into a 2-story apartment complex, Barb hit a bump in the road when pitching her idea to Jordan's City Planning Committee. To turn 508 Broadway into an apartment building, Barb would need to provide ample parking for residents. The problem was that the land the property stood on was zoned for commercial use, meaning that if someone wanted to live in the house in its current location, they'd have to apply to change the land's zoning law, which is a long and expensive process.
Hold up. I thought like apartment residential areas was considered commercial because it is up under a business and it is what it is, and you should be able to do a drive or a parking lot. Well, if you have the funds, but you should be able to do a parking lot even with it being a commercial thing.
By April 2019, Barb had been given an ultimatum by the local government: move the house from the side of the highway or see it demolished. As a part of her family's history, Barb was determined to save 508 Broadway. But after finding out the costly nature of relocating the property, she decided to list the house for $0 in hopes someone else would take care of the moving part. As you can imagine, this sort of literal house move doesn't come cheaply, and upping and moving homes to new locations can cost as much as $200,000. In addition to the cost of the move,
If you're fed up with the line, everyone else at school has one, then get your kids a telephone plan that
Barb estimated that renovating the home would cost around $150,000, totaling to an investment that could cost as much as $350,000. Hardly the $0 of the listing price. That being said, $350,000 is actually
Yeah, but for that big of a house, oh my God. That is like prime real estate, really. The house, not the grounds.
around $100,000 less than the median house price in the area, so it could still be a sound investment for anyone bold enough to undertake
And it said it was a 4 bedroom house. Oh, yeah, that's cheap.
the work. While things were looking up for Barb in June 2019 when she was approached by a property developer, there's been no update on the future of the house since. Thankfully, it looks like this highway house is still standing in the very same spot and was still sporting a for sale sign in September 2021. So the only question is, are you up to the task? And Starrett Mansion. They say that home is where the heart is, but sadly this next mansion has struggled to
Very beautiful type mansion.
capture any buyer's heart for many years. Located in the historic town of Port Townsend, Washington, this 1899
Love Port
beauty was a
Townsend.
true labor of love for George Starrett, who built the house for his adored wife Anne. Dubbed the Anne Starrett Mansion, the 5,796 square foot property has 11 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms set over 2
Good God, 9 bathrooms, 11 rooms. That's a mansion. That's a big mansion.
stories. The crowning tribute to Anne is the 8-sided dome tower at the mansion's entrance that encases an ornate spiral staircase. On the dome's ceiling is a solar calendar designed by renowned New York artist George Chapman, who used Anne Starrett's likeness to depict the 4 seasons and the 4 virtues: prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. George and Anne fully enjoyed their beautiful
I want to say that's Victorian style. I want to say. Not for sure. Bueller?
mansion and lived there all their married life, passing ownership of the property to their descendants who continued to live there until the 1980s. The Starrett family seat found new caretakers in Bob and Ethel Sokol, who bought the house in 1986 and turned it into a boutique hotel. After a successful stint as hoteliers, the Sokols put the Starrett Mansion on the market in 2009. But in the 13 years since then, the mansion has been relisted a surprising 7 times to no avail. While it might seem surprising that a mansion this beautiful would have no interested buyers, some theorize that what lies within the mansion isn't so pretty. Locals believe the Starrett house is haunted by its previous residents, including Anne and George, who have allegedly been sighted by staff and guests alike. But a loved-up ghost couple isn't the only thing new owners could be dealing with. Deemed to be the most interactive of the spirits at Starrett House, the ghost of the family nanny is reported to keep a close eye on house guests. The most popular stories are those of critical guests receiving a ghostly smack on the head after complaining about their stay at the house. Currently, the 11-bedroom property is
A ghost doing that. Well, the stay at the house was wham. It was good. I loved it.
listed for a price of $1.5 million, which is a bargain compared with this 5-bed, 4-bath mansion situated just an 8-minute walk away for $1.3 million. Beautiful as it looks, no one's too keen to shack up with Anne Starrett Mansion's past or ghostly present, however real those alleged ghosts may or may not be. But considering that 57% of people in the U.S. believe in the existence of ghosts, it's no wonder that haunted houses sit on the market for so long. With that in mind, this seller in Clifton, Tennessee decided
Okay, on the thing about ghosts, there's things in every part of any different country that you go to, there's going to be some type of paranormal, With Native Americans, it was Wendigos, or Wendigos. Um, you had skinwalkers, stuff like that. Um, Not only that, you have just in the regular world, you have poltergeists, you have demons, you have all of these other things. I mean, just in every sort of area in the world, you have something. 57% just believe in it. That's an inaccurate number. Because if it's accurate, people need to be taught. Now, the and I'll say it like this: the the house there in Port Townsend, the Ann Starlet mansion, I want to say it was. As long as there's not an evil entity in the house, stay there. You can cope with ghosts. You can't cope with a demon. And demons and ghosts are two different things.
To quell superstitions when they listed this property in 2015 with a specially made "not haunted" for sale sign. It's unknown why the owners deemed these measures necessary to sell this 5-bedroom lot, but for the low
Because they don't want the same thing to happen to them as the people in Port Townsend.
price of $99,950, that not haunted addition only serves to make me more suspicious. Nope, no ghosts here. Totally not haunted. Foreclosing fortress. While for
This is something I would be, and you can ask friends of mine and stuff like that. I love whenever people start talking about castles, fortresses. It just, I love it. I love it. The medieval times for me, I would love. That's just me.
most folks, the idea of living in a castle exists only in the realms of imagination. The reality of this next property turned out to be nothing short of a real estate nightmare. Businessman Christopher Mark was the mind behind this one-of-a-kind property based on the fairy castles from his daughter's storybooks. Complete with a moat and towers rising 126 feet into the sky, this Gothic creation took a staggering 7 years to build between 2001 and 2008.
Acorns is built to put investing at the center of your money. Every time you pay for something,
Dubbed Chris Mark Castle, the property is nestled within 75 acres of sprawling forest, and the decor inside transports visitors back in time with its medieval design. There are 9 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, all fit for royalty, as well as 12 fireplaces and wooden floors and doors built with over 25 different types of luxurious hardwoods. So what's the catch? You'd think somewhere as magical as this would have plenty of billionaire buyers banging down the door. However, this wonderland has been sitting on the market since 2014, with an asking price of an out-of-this-world $60 million. While you might think that the only reason no buyers have chosen to start a chapter at Chrismark Castle is that extortionate price tag, there's a lot more to it than that. Turns out the current owner's private life is far from a fairy tale. In 2008, it was reported that Christopher was using the mansion to conceal a suspicious quote-unquote modeling agency that reportedly listed women for hire at $125 from the castle. This sketchy She venture followed with a messy public divorce from his wife, alongside the untimely death of a camel living on the exotic animal refuge on the property, and Christopher also reportedly put his new girlfriend Marina and the child they had together out on the street, refusing to have anything to do with them besides the basic monthly minimum in child support payments. Given that Chris's castle is associated with all of this morally questionable behavior, it casts a gothic darkness over what may have been a charming home, turning into something altogether quite sinister and unnerving. The room in the basement dedicated to pole dancing and, other activities involving binding in cages doesn't exactly help the pure and innocent image either. While there may be no ghosts at Chrismark Castle, it's safe to assume that there are plenty of dark secrets. $1,000 home. Everyone loves a good home makeover, and some say you can't put a price on the result of hard work. But in 2020, this 3-bed, 2-bath Victorian-era property was listed for just $1,000. The catch is that this authentic property is completely abandoned, and despite its charming exterior, the insides are in complete disarray. Located in Syracuse, New York, the 2,056 square foot house was built in 1890 and features rounded rooms with ornate plastered ceilings that harken back to the 19th century world in which they were constructed.
My bad. Would be a beautiful home to have something in, fix it up. Wouldn't take much, you know, maybe 50, 60,000, maybe a little bit more.
There's a formal dining room and living parlor that could be fit for a very la-di-da tea party, given a bit of TLC. Well, a lot of TLC. Whoever does end up parting with that $1,000 will have a lot of crumbling foundations on their hands that will need to undergo a complete reconstruction. That amount of labor won't come cheap, and the property's listing claims that it will require around $200,000 in renovations to restore it to its former glory. Considering the average house in Syracuse is worth around $153,000, this 1K fixer-upper isn't quite the bargain it might seem. While fixer-uppers like this are always going to be burying some hidden costs, building a brand doesn't have to cost the earth. If you fancy yourself a budding content creator, or you run your own business, you can get an instant boost with today's sponsor, RenderForest. The services offered by RenderForest make it super easy to create broadcast quality content, websites, logos, animations, and more on their all-in-one branding platform. Including more than 1,400 video templates, you don't need any fancy design experience to create professional-looking content in a matter of minutes. You can get started with 20% off RenderForest's affordable monthly and annual plans by clicking the exclusive BMA's link in the description below. So if you're ready to join more than 15 million RenderForest users on a journey of self-built brand success, attaining the level of content quality you deserve, and reaping the rewards with boosted brand awareness, websites, visits, and sales, just click that link in the description. And thanks so much to RenderForest for sponsoring today's video. And now, let's get back to it. Peterson's Folly. Let's be honest, the whole point of buying a mansion is to show off, and the larger you can go, the better. But this next mansion just goes to show that you can have too much of a good thing. This over-the-top 14-floor residence in Hampshire, England, was constructed in the 1880s by wealthy landowner Andrew Turton Peterson. Known as a bit of an eccentric, Andrew developed a keen interest for spiritualism and communicating with people from beyond the grave. One spirit Andrew claimed to have contacted was the renowned 17th century English architect Sir Christopher Wren, who apparently instructed him to build a large concrete tower, which was pretty
I know some Wrens. I wonder if they're any kin to them.
odd considering that Wren never used concrete in his designs. But who says people's taste can't change, right? And so Andrew did as he was told. Known as a folly, large towers like this were pretty popular in the 18th and 19th centuries and were built solely for decoration to be admired by rich homeowners nearby. While it looked pretty, or at least interesting. From the outside, the concrete monolith was home to little more than stairs and pigeons until 1973, when the tower came under new ownership. The Grade 2 listed building was bought by Paul Atkins for just $5,000, who renovated part of the property into a tall, skinny mansion for a cool $1 million investment. Paul first turned the tower into a boutique hotel with en-suite bedrooms, each taking up an entire floor in the twig-like tower, before offering the property up for sale more than 4 decades later. First listed in 2016, the property is conservatively described as a 4-bed detached house, despite standing at 220 feet and housing 320 steps. If the thought of climbing all those stairs every day wasn't enough to put buyers off, then paying the $2.5 million asking price is sure to sour the deal even further. Not only that, but the new owner had best be shock resistant, considering the folly has been struck by lightning at least 10 times in its history. With more than 5 years on the market under its belt, let's hope that this historic structure finds a new owner before Mother Nature smites it down to rubble. Carleton Island Villa. The thought of owning a mansion on a near-private island is a dream harbored by many, but for this next property, things are far from ideal.
I don't think I would, and that's just me because I think uh, if I was to go to an island, I want to go there to camp. I don't want to go there to live, but I want to go there to camp.
Idyllic today. In the late 1800s, businessman William Osmond Wyckoff was amassing a great fortune from selling the then newly invented typewriter. After all that hard work, William needed a break, and in 1894 he set about commissioning a dream vacation home on the picturesque Carleton Island in upstate New York.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
The property was completed in 1895, and despite being a vacation home, William's 15,000 square foot fortress was completed with a whopping 50 rooms inside.
50
With all that
rooms.
space, as well as an abundance of waterfront views, things were looking bright for the Wyckoff clan's next summer vacation. But things didn't end up so sunny for William, as he eerily died in his sleep during his very first night on Carleton Island. The villa was inherited by one of William's sons, who quickly sold the property following the tanking of the Wyckoff family fortune during the Great Depression in the 1920s. The property was sold to energy company General Electric, who had intended on using the villa to host employee retreats. But sadly, these plans were soon forgotten as World War II unfurled. Decades flew by, and the Carleton Island Villa remained, exposed to the unforgiving elements as well as numerous lootings over the years. Eventually, the villa came under new ownership by a couple living in a cottage nearby the estate, who put the mansion on the market in 2012. Despite its colossal size, Wyckoff's mansion was priced at just $495,000, a mere drop in the ocean compared with what you'd think it must be worth. In fact, in the general surrounding area, $480,000 can only buy a quaint 4-bedroom property. So it might seem odd that no one wants to snap up the 11-bedroom Carleton Villa. However, these days, Carleton Island Villa is a ghostly shell of its former self, and some even suspect that the abandoned ruins are haunted by William Wyckoff himself. Regardless of Willie's ghost, the property is regarded as a money pit, and is in dangerous disrepair with all 50 rooms crumbling to pieces. The villa's desolate location also poses a problem to prospective house flippers, as Carleton Island is only accessible by boat. Not only that, but there's no water or electricity connected to the home, meaning that it would require a lot more than a fresh lick of paint to restore. In fact, the renovations required to get the house in ship-shape condition are estimated to cost between $10 and $12 million. The new owners would literally have to start from the ground up, as the stone foundations of the property have reached a point of irreversible deterioration and would need to be entirely overhauled. Over 90 years have passed since anyone has lived in the mansion, and the Carleton Island Villa vacation home is still waiting for someone to pull it out of the darkness and into the sun once again.
Take pictures of it. Do everything like that. Then, like 2 to 500 feet back behind it, build it up again with different supplies.
Minzhong House. Located in the countryside just outside of the city of Chiai, Minzhong Ghost House is one of the most infamously haunted locations in all of Taiwan. Built in 1929, this house was once full of life until, at some point in the 1950s, the owners, the Liu family, mysteriously upped and left their home behind. The reasons behind the Liu family's swift departure are shrouded in shadows, but locals believe that a haunting is to blame. In Taiwanese culture, upwards of 87% of people reportedly believe in ghosts, and there are many superstitions dictated by a fear of the spirit world. These include beliefs that whistling can attract evil spirits, and that taking the last bus home could result in being abducted by a phantom driver. In the case of the Minzhong house, the leading theory is that the Lius were haunted by the ghost of a maid they'd mistreated, whose spirit came back to torment them on a nightly basis. The rumors of the hauntings left the home without an owner, and it's been sat abandoned ever since. These days, the structure is down to its bare bones and is more of a ruin as opposed to the luxurious house it once was. And it's not just the inside that's transformed. The outside of the red brick structure has been completely overtaken by nature, engulfed by twisting vines and branches. Considering its wrecked appearance, no one in their right mind is looking to part with the $474,901 needed to purchase the ruin, let alone shelling out potentially hundreds of thousands more that would be needed to restore it. It's safe to say this mansion's haunted reputation, as well as its problematic price tag, will likely follow it to the grave. Haunted house on the house. A house with a haunted history is bound to be a tough sell for any realtor, but one agent out there had a nifty trick up their sleeve. In March 2020, residents of Youngsville, Louisiana got quite the surprise when realtor Sylvia McLean posted this on Facebook, offering an entire house for free. Sylvia disclosed that whoever took it on would be expected to move and restore the 1920 structure, which stood on some land that had been purchased by her neighborhood development firm. The final bill for this house move was set to be in excess of $80,000, but it wasn't the hidden costs that were putting people off. In fact, the comments were flooded with interested buyers. But what Sylvia failed to mention were the reports of an otherworldly presence that also allegedly resides in the home. Former resident Dawn DeClout claims that it's occupied by a restless spirit often witnessed jangling pots and pans, among other creepy unexplained phenomena. While this might not seem like a huge deal to everyone, once interested buyers found out about the supposed haunting, most of them promptly withdrew their offers to take the house. Despite the home's ghostly resident, one brave soul did agree to take the mostly free home and relocated the house around 20 miles away. But who knows if the ghost came along for the ride too. If it did, it probably won't be long before this moving property is back on the market again. While nothing in the world of real estate truly comes free, you can get your mitts on plenty of amazing free content here at Be Amazed. Why not put an offer in on those like and subscribe buttons? You can even seal the deal by ringing that bell icon so you're always in the loop when I've got new content on the market.
Yeah,
All
ring the
signed, sealed,
bell.
and delivered. Then let's get back to the video.
For me.
S.K. Pierce Mansion. When it comes to mansions, they say that bigger is better. And while this next property took 100 men 18 months to build, its failure to launch comes down to just one small detail. The elaborate 10-bedroom, 7,000 square foot Gothic mansion was completed in 1875 after being commissioned by businessman Sylvester Pierce. Sylvester worked in the furniture business, so it's no surprise that the insides are about as lavish as you can imagine, if not a little eerie, including a steep grand staircase and lavish furnishings. After Sylvester's death in 1888, the mansion was left to his three sons, who bickered over the ownership of the mansion for years. Eventually, the mansion was turned into a boarding house in an attempt to revitalize the dwindling Pierce.
I have come home and I have stood at the base of the steps just dreading the 40 stairs that I have to climb up. And there's 40 because I've counted them. When you're not healthy, it's hard.
Family fortune, but this decision saw the mansion play host to some very unsavory activities. Illegal gambling, black market trading, frequent visits from women of the night, and even some homicides are said to have taken place at the house.
Oh, wow.
By 1965, the Pierce fortune had all but disappeared, and ownership of the mansion was transferred outside of the family. Since then, the house has had quite a few residents over the years, some of which have reported some very strange goings-on. In 2009, Edwin Gonzalez moved into the property with his partner Lillian Otero, but the pair were driven out of the home by 2011 due to alleged paranormal experiences. While Edwin and Lillian lived there, neighbors reported seeing a little boy in the windows, despite the couple being childless, as well as a dark-haired woman who Lillian claims tried to possess her. While all these little anecdotes are creepy to say the least, the couple imparted their experience via a book deal, which could make the claim seem a lot more or a lot less believable, depending on your perspective. Stories like that of Edwin and Lillian are the reason why locals have dubbed the S.K. Pierce Mansion the haunted mansion of the neighborhood. And because of this, not a soul wanted to live there. Guests of the mansion have reported an alarming amount of paranormal activity, from chanting voices, apparitions, and moving furniture. The property sat on the market for 9 years before the seller finally accepted that no one was ever going to buy this accursed location to live in. Instead, they changed tactics and marketed the home as a haunted attraction. In 2015, Edwin and Lillian sold Sylvester's old home to Rob and Allison Conti, the owners of haunted attraction company Dark Carnival, for a fraction of the mansion's $1.3 million valuation, at just $315,000. Currently, guests can only stay in the property after signing a detailed waiver that prevents them from suing Robert over any paranormal activity they may experience. How welcoming! Greenough Loma. Homes rendered unsellable by their creepiness are one thing, but there are some houses out there with price tags that are just too expensive for buyers to even consider. Dubbed Greenough Loma, this enormous log cabin sits on the shores of Lake Superior in Marquette, Michigan, touting a private marina and
Something like that I would love to have.
The 26,000 square foot cabin was listed for a splintering $40 million in 2015, making it the most expensive house in the state. While you may think that's extortionate, the home was constructed in 1923 by financier Louis G. Kaufman for $5 million, which is the equivalent of around $82 million today. However, not even billionaires thought it was a steal at its listing price, and the luxurious log cabin was chopped down to $20 million in 2017. Since then, it's still not managed to attract any interest, and the price isn't the only thing that has buyers lost in the woods. Despite having been designed by a staggering 22 architects, the estate has some pretty dated, garish decor and a whole load of insanely creepy taxidermy. Honestly, you'd have to pay me $20 million to live in this pet cemetery. Although, not that I'd say no at that price. I could ship over some of those other haunted homes we've seen with the Prophet to form a cozy, creepy commune. Wonderfully nightmarish for the inner goth in all of us. Would you buy any of the mansions we've seen today? Are there any houses no one wants to buy in your neighborhood? Let me know in the...
Yeah, I absolutely love to watch stuff about houses, stuff like that. And if you would, please like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell button, say all. But yeah, I love most of them. And on the paranormal thing, guys, if you know that there is a ghost in your in where you live, if it's not hurting you, you're fine. Like the one that was saying that for a bad review, they got head slapped on the head. Otherwise, that ghost never did bother people. Yeah, you're fine. You could almost get away with saying that it's not haunted. Well, anyway, much love to each and every one of y'all. I will see y'all whenever you either A, come in for the stream, or B, see me on another reaction. Much love to each and every one of y'all. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Much love.